Ever wonder what a Resident Evil movie would look like in the early 90s? Better yet, ever wonder what it would be like to watch a wild and insane comedic horror movie where a big corporation tries to experiment on alien DNA that goes horribly wrong and winds up causing a bunch of creatures created through practical effects and animatronic and stop motion to escape? Well, then this just might be the right kind of movie for you. Metamorphosis, The Alien Factor is a 1990s science fiction comedic horror film directed by Glenn Takachman. It stars Tara Lee, Diana Flaherty, Catherine Romaine, and George Gerard. The best way I can describe this movie, guys, is a feature-length story that reminded me a lot of the William Birkin plot from Resident Evil 2. Imagine a whole film about that kind of slow transformation into a monster, only with a pretty campy tone to go along with it.
Elliot, they were cell samples from another planet.
What?
The synopsis from IMDb starts off with the following. A virus from outer space transforms a bio-researcher into a bloodthirsty monster. And that's pretty much all you need to know. So this movie features some insanely wild special effects that feature gigantic creatures portrayed by stop motion, a giant on-set animatronic, and puppet effects that really make this thing stand out from pretty much everything else that exists within the movie.
You're the girl who was here this afternoon. You're Griffin's daughter.
What have you done with my father? Where is he, you bastards?
She's just a little upset. She doesn't really mean bastard.
Where is he? I know you have him. What have you done with him?
Hey, you son of a...
I'm not gonna lie, guys, this is a pretty bad film. It's not one that was ever designed to win Oscars though, and instead, it was made to be exactly the kind of wild excuse for creating science fiction alien effects that it is. And for that very reason, I think you're gonna have a good time with it. Apparently, production started on this thing back in 1987, but according to IMDb, it took a really long time to get off the ground because of the extensive effects work. There were even lawsuits involved with the distributors, which forced the movie to not come out until November of 1990 in Germany, of all places, before eventually making its way to film festivals and VHS the following year in 1991. I don't know what it would have been like to actually pick this up at a Blockbuster or Hollywood Video back in the day, but judging by the actual cover, it kind of looks like it's a way higher quality movie than what you actually watch.
Engaged. No contamination detected. Please use caution.
But like I said, it's good monster movie fun at the end of the day. One of the more wacky bits of trivia with this one happens to be its origins, which I'm sure people who have been watching this channel for a while will get a kick out of, because the producer of the film was Ted A. Boas. So apparently, this movie was originally written and filmed as a sequel, going under the title The Deadly Spawn 2. The Metamorphosis, which I found to be extremely interesting. Its predecessor happens to be a very endearing little movie from 1983 that tons of special effects and horror fans have built a cult following for.
What do you do when there is no escape? Nowhere to hide from being eaten alive.
What the f*** was that?
The Deadly Spawn.
This one, on the other hand, doesn't really get anywhere near as much recognition. Nobody talks about it, you've probably never seen it, and if you have seen it, you may have forgotten about it. But it was filmed as a sequel to one of the biggest cult classics of the 1980s special effects horror scene, and yeah, you can kind of tell while watching it.
I don't know what's happened to us, Brian. Kim and I used to be so close.
Like I said before, this isn't going to win any awards, and it was never designed to, but the reason I think people should look into it more and even check it out is due to the wildly fun special effects that are here. Again, I want to say that this is basically just watching a Resident Evil 2 story brought to life with aliens instead of the G virus, and I'd even go as far to say that it reminded me a bit of the Guyver too. You've got the big corporation trying to do wild experiments, you've got the transformation of someone into a monster, and you even have a little assortment of creatures that are running wild in the building. As far as I'm concerned, that's pretty fun stuff.
You sure you got him?
Producer Ted A. Boas and Dr. Ron Giannato wanted to make a sequel to their 1980s cult classic, but decided to make something kind of different during development. With a bigger budget and more insane effects, they created this wild movie that even has an ending that pays tribute to the Deadly Spawn in a pretty recognizable way. So if you're looking for something really crazy to watch that has to do with aliens, monsters, great practical effects, or all of the above, you might want to check this one out. But again, don't expect it to be the greatest thing ever made, because, well...
Please, dear, not in front of the mutant.